All right, let's hunker down. Make a quick little video for you. Appreciate you bringing these properties my way, first and foremost, okay? Secondly, keep moving, all right? This is when people start to drop out of the business because the government tells them that they can't leave their house, can't do anything, you can't market your properties. This is where the networking comes into play. You got to talk to people about your business. You let people know that you're in the business of getting them out of their problem properties. Now, you got a question on terms. Here's a way that looks like, right? So this guy wants $130,000 for a house on Dodge Street. I know, Warren. I've almost sold houses on Dodge. I know that that's probably, without running comps, that's at the top of the market over there. Okay. Terms. Think regular financing. You got to bring a down payment. Okay. Whenever you're talking terms on a seller's property, you're looking at a land contract or a lease option type of deal, or rent to own, something like that. I won't get too complex into it, but just like a regular loan, you got to bring a down payment to the table. Okay. Down payment, $10,000. Okay. That's what the seller wants for a down payment. So if they've said that they're open to terms, that tells you that they're seasoned and that they understand what they're talking about. At no point ever in the business is it beneficial for you to talk over somebody's head. But you already know that. So let's go back to the down payment. So they want a certain amount of money for a down payment. So if you pose the question, hey, are you open to terms, Mr. or Mrs. Seller? Yeah, what are you thinking? Well, typically our down payments look somewhere in the neighborhood $5,000-$10,000, and then you get monthly interest on your money. All right, so if they own a house outright, what they're going to end up doing is naming an interest rate. We got one over in Warren. Actually, the deal that we met on Revere Street, you called me on that. That house ended up doing terms. $12,000 down payment. We got this under contract right now. Here's the way this looks. $12,000 down, 8% interest. And then there's a monthly payment of $1,000. Now, the interest annualized on whatever the balance was, so we ended up selling for like $55 minus the $12,000. Run through this here. If you're going to put this down on paper, this is how this works. The way that deal was, $55,000 was the asking price. Then the buyer brought $12,000. That brought us down to $43,000. Then $43,000. Then you look at the interest rate, which is 8%. Annualize that. That means take it out, times it by 12. So 8% times $43,000. What's that dollar amount? It's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of like, I think it was like $3,400. Okay? Whatever it is, do the math, look at that. $3,400. Then you divide that by 12. That's your monthly interest. Okay? That's the way that looks. Now, if the seller wants $1,000 a month payment, so they want principal pay down, everything above the $234 a month, or whatever the interest is, divided into 12, that's your monthly interest. That's taken out of the $1,000 a month. Does that make sense? So the rest of the $1,000, I think it was $713. I believe that's what it was. That goes towards principal. Okay? That goes towards the bottom line. I'll get to the balloon here in just a second. The interest pays down principal. Or excuse me, the interest just pays the loan. Okay? What the interest rate was where the seller wanted it to be. Okay? That's the cost, and that's the privilege to borrow their money. Just like the banks nowadays. Okay? So, without getting too out there with the examples, you got a monthly payment. A portion of that is interest. A portion of that is principal. Okay. Now you're going to have on these land contracts or these seller financing terms, typically you're going to have a balloon. What the balloon means is that 2 months, or 2 years, 24 months, there's going to be a balloon payment. That means whatever you haven't paid down through principal, you need to pay that off. And that's how that works. So when you're talking terms, let me sum that up real quick. You go to a seller. Hey, would you be willing to accept payments on this property? Yes. The answer is yes. Okay, here's a down payment. 5, 10, 20, $50,000, whatever it is. Okay, just like the only difference is the seller is being the bank rather than the bank being the bank and financing the deal. So there's a down payment, then there's interest. That's all calculated. Watch some videos online, but there's your personalized video to help with the explanation on that. So what I want to know on this particular deal, if they're looking for, you've got the asking price, then you're going to know what the down payment is, and then you're going to know what the interest rate is. We can figure out the rest from there.